Everybody, how you doing? We are live on my Sunday night chill stream. This time we are chilling with a couple new people, Chris Moneymaker and Greg Christopher, the chubby funster himself. What's up, guys? How you doing?
How's it
How you
going?
doing? Shadow Sun prominently displayed in the logo there because we are talking Dark Con and all things Shadow Sun and all things Dark Sun tonight, right?
Yeah.
Amen. Amen, guys. Because Chris, you have a new con coming up, right?
I do. It's coming October 24th, 25th, Knoxville,
Very
Tennessee.
cool. Very cool, very cool. And I put some links in the chat. I shall do so again there. Pre-show. I just want to make sure they show up again. All right. So that's the Facebook event page that I just put in there, guys. And this is your application. All right. So your application for any DM. So rules and regulations and how to apply and all that kind of stuff there. So you're good to go. So what brought this on, Chris? How'd you say, God damn it, the world needs something called DarkCon, number one. And number two, how has nobody claimed DarkCon? How has no goth organization claimed DarkCon yet, for God's sake?
Well, there's actually a funny story about that. There is actually a DarkCon. But it is nowhere close to the same industry.
Okay.
There is it's somewhere like, I don't know,
BDSM
Denver
kind of thing, or what
no, it's funnier than that. It is a convention. It is a convention for African American orthodontists.
Yes.
Okay. Are you serious?
I am serious.
That sounds very almost borderline racist, but you're actually serious. That's
serious.
That's a con.
You Google it, that you might get me, but you'll probably get that first.
Holy shit. Holy shit. Yes,
I'm trying to figure out where it is, but the page doesn't have it. Maybe it's an online digital thing.
It may be online or it may be defunct. I'm not sure.
Holy shit, that's amazing. Yes, Thraxis, there will be goth girls if that's what it takes to get you there. Chris will guarantee hot goth chicks. So yes, show up. You will have hot goth chicks, and if not, Greg will dress up as a goth chick for you.
Yeah, we can.
Greg is a special guest, right, Greg? That's why you're here.
It's my first time being a special guest.
Special guest.
Usually, in order to be a special guest, you have to. Oh, I mean, it's true here too, but you have to be running games. And my kind of philosophy, usually when I go to a convention, is to steal everybody else's knowledge from them. So I will go in and I will sign up for like 7 games with radically different people. I want to see how this guy runs Vampire. I want to see how this guy runs against the Giants. I want to run this. And then I'll just go in and just study, like, what is it? How do they say it? How do they set this thing up? And steal all their technique. So
you're over there.
I don't really want to run games. Yeah, see, Chris is taking notes now. Yeah, so I don't want to run games. I want to play in your games. But I am going to run 4 games at DarkCon. 2 of them are going to be the quick start adventure that's coming with the Shadow Sun revised launch, and then I'm going to, sometime between now and October, take the classic adventure from Dark Sun called Freedom, where you start out as slaves and you fight your way to freedom. And I'm going to convert that mechanically to Shadow Sun. And then everyone recognizes the cover and everything. Yeah.
Dark Sun. There we go.
Yeah.
Hot chick,
so run it that way.
Freedom module.
All right. There's a thing in here that says the link isn't working. The link on Facebook's returning dynamic link, not found error. It just worked for me, dude. I'm maybe copy paste or click a link. It worked. I just did a paste in the new tab and it came up just right away. So give it a shot again. I pasted a new link in there in case the other link was bad. The most recent link should work though.
And on Facebook, you probably can find it just by searching DarkCon, and it'll show up as a red giant holding a rock over his head as the little logo you'll see on Facebook in the search.
All right, good deal. So this is all based in Dark Sun, and since Greg's Shadow Sun is a cooler, better version of Dark Sun with a cooler, better psionic system, right?
I think so, but I love the original Dark Sun. We of all the people that I played second edition with you, buddy. Yeah. And there's all kinds of things that I love about second edition, but that when I play it, I'm like, if I change this, it would be better. right?
Mm-hmm.
That's why I make role-playing games in the first place, is I can't stand to just sit there and have something that doesn't work the way that I want it to work. I'm just like, well, I'll just house rule that. I'll just change that. I'll do that. And rather than develop, 20 pages of house rules like you, Joe, eventually I just start writing books. Then I don't have to have house rules anymore.
Because of your constant harassment saying to you, why don't you write your own fucking RPG? This is why we have this behemoth of 400 pages. So I owe you from busting my balls for 2 fucking years. And that's why I have it, man. Yeah. I don't have any experience with Dark Sun. I have it over on the shelf. I just never played it. I didn't know what it was. I got it. It's one of those things you buy. I'm like, oh, what the fuck is this? It was like one of those like Planescape purchases. I'm like, Planescape sounds cool. The art looks great in the cover. I buy it. I read it. I'm like, this is dumb. Right back on the shelf. My Planescape is pristine. But my Dark Sun, I got it from somebody else. You know what I mean? It's one of those purchases. And so it came with a bundle of stuff, right? So I ended up
spiral bound stuff in it. Did you get
What's that?
Did you get some with the spiral bound stuff in it?
I don't know, actually.
Yeah, Dark Sun innovated in a lot of really cool ways, and one of the ways was production design. So they would have, Chris has got one. There's one in that green folder. I know.
This is the freedom module.
Yeah. So the player has a binding, a spiral bound thing like that, and as the GM goes through, the GM will tell them when to flip pages. And it'll say, okay, this is where you are now. You're in that dungeon. And then you flip it. Now you're meeting this guy. And then you flip it, and so it goes through the adventure like that. Yeah, and you can it's a triangle thing, like your tabletop or on your when you go out to eat. And then the GM has their own book. Yeah.
You know what, motherfucker? I don't have Dark Sun. What I have is the Horde. I thought it was Dark Sun all these years, but I did buy a Dark Sun book over COVID because I knew that they had some great psionic shit. So I guess I thought I had Dark Sun, but no, it's the Horde. So no, I don't have it. Holy shit!
Well, Dark Sun was super heavy on psionics.
Yeah,
and there's a lot of people who dislike the second edition way of doing psionics. I feel it's overly complicated from a mechanical design, but you're talking to somebody who designs for Shadowdark, which is pretty rules light, right? So when I converted it over 3 years ago to the original Shadow Sun, I made it so, and I'm preserving this in the revisions, it works like the Force. So it builds up. So you start being able to kind of manipulate something with telekinesis from afar. Then eventually you're force choking somebody out with that same kind of power, but it builds up through the tiers. Like Shadowdark has tiers of spells, like most D&D. And then it has a prerequisite system, unlike spells for the most part. And in order to kind of have no penalties, you need to have those prerequisites. But if you don't have the prerequisites, you're at like a -3 on the difficulty class, or +3, excuse me. And so every time it's harder and harder for you to do it if you don't have the prerequisites. So,
gotcha.
But it works like the Force. There's a bunch of different ways to do it that work like Force powers. Whereas the stuff that's in second edition Dark Sun, and I guess in fourth edition, if you consider it to be a real thing, a lot of people don't. But it works like I'm going to make a mind attack on you, and you're going to get hit for a certain amount of damage. Like it's like a force attack. It's very different. I don't even know how to describe 2E psionics coherently.
Oh, I can describe it real well.
Go for it.
But the only problem that I have with this is the way that they worded the mental combat, which is a tiny bit of this. It's like 2 pages of this 100 and whatever.
The mental combat, you're saying?
The mental combat, where you're doing mind-to-mind stuff, because there's a Mindscape type thing where, but if you just do the game end, there are things called attack modes and things called defense modes, and to do mental contact, some people are like, oh, well, it's broken because if you don't have psionics, you can't defend against it. That's not true. They can't see you. They don't know you. They can't direct it at you. But they're trying, when you're using the defense modes versus the attack modes, there is a kind of like the attack modes are trying to batter down the defense modes, and there are contested rolls against each other. That's my only issue with it. The rest of it, I think, works great. When it comes to using sonic points.
Right.
I'm
1E
sorry.
sucked. It had that mind id, super ego, all that bullshit sucked. It was indecipherable, right, as a system. But I remember 2E, I kind of liked it. I liked it, the fact that it wasn't just like every other single edition of D&D just made psionics spells, right?
Yeah.
This is the psionic charm person. This is the psionic fireball.
Yeah.
No, and other than like the basics of ESP and telekinesis, there was no overlap with second edition psionics.
Yeah, there's only like
made it better.
4 powers that are actually spells that work similar. Disintegrate, like you said, a couple of things like ESP or
telepathy, all that shit. Yeah,
or
clairvoyance, clairaudience.
What's it called? What he was talking about. Sorry, I'm blanking on it. Telekinesis, stuff like that. But there are literally over 300 powers that are their own unique thing. And disintegrate. I don't know if I mentioned disintegrate works very similar, but they're their own unique thing. They have their own unique power source. You know, they're not spells. They're not wizard spells. They're not priest spells. Your power source is your own nexus, so you can't be cut off from it. Without certain spells will make it fuzzy, but you know, so. Like I said, it's different strokes for different folks. I like it, except for I had to do I wrote up a flow chart to make mental combat easier, because the way it's written in here is confusing, and because people bounce off of that. And the way it's written in the Will and the Way is a little less confusing. Which
I did get there's a psionic book that I bought, like I said, over COVID, because I know it expanded to 2E psionics. With it was a Dark Sun book. It's over there. I would get it but I can't get up. And this right here is the reason. This is number one. I'm wearing my underwear, but recognize this, guys. This is a hacky sack from 40 years ago. This is my OG hacky sack. Now, apparently, hacky sacks are all the rage. My nephew's all praising hacky sacks. Hey, Jay. Joey, didn't you used to say you played hacky sack when you were young? I said, yeah, man. 40 years ago, I played hacky sack. Well, it's all the rage now. So I'm playing hacky sack today at Mother's Day, and I am in agony. But I showed the youngins how to do it. I am now sitting with my knees have been slathered in Bengay, and I'm had 2 dual action Advils to get ahead of the pain. But that's why I can't get up, because I can't move. Other than that, I would get the book off the shelf.
Yeah.
So anyway,
that's the one you've got.
I believe so. Yeah.
Yeah. The Will and the Way. Yeah.
So. Yep.
Because between that, the Complete Psionics Handbook, and the Dragon Kings book, that's where the majority of psionics for 2E are.
Yep. No, it's pretty cool. I looked at it because I wanted to steal something, because someday I'll have a psionics addition to my own RPG, and I'm just going to steal theirs. I'll reword it, reskin it, reorganize it. But their concepts for psionics were sound, I thought. Different schools, different disciplines. I thought that's perfect. Yeah. And if you want to look at like for sorcerers, I think like the Roll Master thing is the solid choice for sorcerers. It's a better way to do it, I think. And that way it's again, you're just not stealing wizards and cleric spells. You're making it unique,
Yeah, making it its own thing. Yeah.
Yeah. So how long have you been doing this, the Dark Sun thing, Chris? Why is this like your favorite thing? Is this like you're a Mad Max lover? You know what I mean? What's your gig with it?
Well, always been a big fan of fantasy and sci-fi and all that kind of stuff, and because of the Satanic Panic, I didn't get into D&D until I think the very first game that I played was on an island that we had canoed out to at a Boy Scout camp, and played next to a huge bonfire. It was really cool. I think it was because it was summer of '89 when I played it, but I didn't get to play again until I worked at that camp as a counselor, and the guy was running Dark Sun, and I just fell in love with it. And I mean, part of it is because of the feel of it. It's got that real Smash Mouth feel, and part of it was because like Gerald Brahms' art just grabs you by the nose and won't let go. It's just got you. Nice. And then also I have what my friends call a touch of autism, actually diagnosed, and that is kind of my autistic.
Oh, I got it. I totally know.
Thing is that. So
yeah, I totally got that too. As I was looking at a couple of family members and a friend's kid, and I said, I think they might be autistic. And so I'm doing a little research. I'm like, I think I got a touch of autism too.
Yeah.
I think I'm maybe on a 1 to 10, I'm a 1, but I got a little shit going on there.
Yeah. In school, they couldn't figure out why I was, top percentile in math and science, but couldn't spell worth a damn. And that's because
went the
there's
other
no
way.
hard and fast spelling rules.
Yeah, I went the other way on that. It's like math, science, fuck you. So yeah. You a little tismy, Greg? Or is this a Tismy Anonymous meeting here? You got a little tism in you?
I mean, I have some of the symptoms. I don't know if it's the same disease. I mean, I'm mostly like ADD. I'm not hyperactive. I just space out all the time, and I go like deep. I'll just sit there and think about the same thing for a long time.
You just got to float in your head.
Presents the same way. You know what I'm saying? Like it appears that way, but I don't think so. I think I kind of almost overinterpret people's things. Like somebody will say something to me, and I'll sit there and think about it for like a week. Like, what did they really mean by this thing? You know, so I don't think that I would do that if I was, not picking up on social cues. So it just doesn't make sense to me. But I mean, we're all weird. That's for sure. I mean, let's start from that as our ground-based point.
That's absolutely. We're all a bit off. We're all a little bit off center. I think that's safe to say. Most people I've ever met who play D&D are slightly left or right of center, not in a politically speaking way, but just a little different there.
Stephen Flowers asked a question, and yes, I have, and I actually almost had him as a special guest, Tim Brown. He's asking about Tim Brown, who's one of the two main authors of the original Dark Sun. He went, since he couldn't buy it from Hasbro, wouldn't sell him Dark Sun. He went and wrote basically his own Dark Sun with the serial number filed off, and he called it Dragon Kings, which confuses some people because he also wrote another high level. It was a hardback for high level adventurers, so it's like 20th to 30th level on all the classes.
All right,
and also called Dragon King, so it confuses some people. But yes, I was talking to him, and I talked to Troy too, who's the other main author. And he said he would do it, but he was wanting the stuff he was wanting to do. I couldn't afford to do this year.
Gotcha. So, speaking of Dark Sun with the serial numbers, file off, Greg. Tell us about Shadow Sun. You have big news coming up, I think, right?
So
what do you have and what's coming?
I wrote Shadow Sun as the Shadow Dark Kickstarter was kicking off.
Yep.
And what had happened was I had just got diagnosed enough to get a prescription for it was Focalin at the time. Now I take Ritalin. But it was the first time I'd ever actually had an ADD med that fixed my issue. And I was incredibly productive. And that was right after the OGL crisis.
Yeah.
If anybody remembers that thing. And and so I was like, I'll make my own Dark Sun with Blackjack and Hookers. Now, at the time, I did not have anywhere near the revenue backing that I do now with all the stuff that I've done for Shadow Dark. So I've been able to afford a ton of new art, like the map you can see behind me on the virtual background, all kinds of stuff that I can do now that I wasn't able to do back in 2023. So at the end of last year, I had just had some really strong success on the YouTubes, and I was like, what is it that I want to do? And I have another setting that's unfinished called Kharazim, which is like an Al-Qadim Islamic fantasy setup. And it just wasn't working the way that I wanted. Anybody who makes stuff, like you can have something that's like 80% complete and you're like, this is just not working the way I want it to work. And so I said, fuck this. I'm going to redo Shadow Sun. I've got the money. I could do all this stuff. So I started commissioning new art. I started commissioning the map. I did all this stuff, and it's expanded to the original Shadow Sun is like 220 pages, I think.
Okay. A digest or like human being size?
It's A5, like Shadow Dark.
Okay.
And so I was like, fuck this. I've blown it out now. It's like 300-page books for player guide, and a GM guide. Each? So they're going to be huge, and I've been designing them on my. The Shadow Dark is 330 pages, just as a benchmark. So it's like it's almost as big. Each one of them is going to be almost as big as Shadow Dark. And The quick starts are going to go live on drive-through on Tuesday. This is about 138 pages between the two of them. And I didn't realize this until yesterday. I was telling them before the show, like, it's going to be the largest free Shadow Dark resource that exists. It's larger than the Shadow Dark quick starts. Wow. It comes with an adventure. It comes with 50 monsters. It comes with full character generation for level 1s and 2s. Even level 3s, actually, because it has second level spells and second tier psionics and stuff. So everything like that's going to roll out. And on Tuesday, I'm putting up the preview page for the Kickstarter.
I was wondering if you had that. We could link to it now.
It's not ready because I want to have the ability to say, here's a quick start, so you can see right now exactly what you're looking to get. Because
so the quick start will be free.
Yeah, they'll put up a quick Kickstarter and they'll say, I promise you it's going to be this.
Yeah.
Right? And I want to be able to say, I am delivering this to you. And I also going to have my Patreon link on that Kickstarter page, because every couple of days I post like a screenshot of a new spread. Like, I've written this, I've written this, I've written this. So you can see exactly what is in it. You know, I'm gonna be talking to Erudite DM tomorrow night about the hex generate, what is in all these hexes behind me, and we're going to go through pages that aren't in the quick start and say, like, what is it? We're going to roll dice. This is going to be a settlement. This is going to be a point of interest. This is going to be whatever, and populate these things out live to see how it works. So that's the kind of thing. Like, I'm building it on the Patreon in real time. We're going to have the preview up on the Kickstarter page. It's going to have quick starts available for free. So it's going to be a summer of Shadowsun.
Nice. And that completely fits, because then what your thing is coming up soon, right, man? The Dark Con, it's coming up in a few months.
October.
October. There you go.
And October. Yeah.
And I believe, Greg, this is your Patreon, right?
Correct.
All right, there you go. So,
and I have these really expensive tiers, like $2.
Oh my God,
$5 a month. If you can afford the $2,
you greedy fuck.
Take a plunge. You know,
you greedy fucker. So there you go. And I've been pasting our YouTube channels in there, guys. So you're watching this right now. We got 22 on my YouTube. We got 28 on Greg's, and we got Chris. You got one on yours watching right now. There's somebody on Rumble, somebody on Twitch. So if you're watching this on anybody's channel, subscribe. You might as well, use it as a source, because on Greg's channel, you're going to see a lot of stuff, I would imagine, on a Shadowsun coming out soon. I would hazard a guess, right? And Chris, you want to hear about his con? He's going to be talking about it on his YouTube channel as well. So get in there.
And I'm there just in general, Dark Sun
stuff. To me, So Greg, when is it going to fulfill? Like, in other words, it's mostly done, but for the art, right?
Well, there's still like about 100 pages to be written. Me and you have talked about this before, Joe, that my process is to build out the layout and then bounce around. So, like, for example, all of the things that go in the hexes are written except fortifications, because that ties into a lot of the stuff that I have yet to write in the Gazetteer section of the player book. So, like, the player book is all done except for some Gazetteer items, and then the GM book is a lot of tables. So the tables are getting filled to match the things that go in the Gazetteer and back and forth. So it's being ping-ponged around in my head every day. But we're on track to, it will be written when the Kickstarter goes live on August 4th. And then it should be as soon as it can get printed and shipped and distributed. So this is my first time doing offset printing, but I have.
So you're not using drive-through, right? You're not using drive-through?
I'm not using drive-through for it.
Okay.
I have awesome friends in this who have done it before, who have given me contacts and recommendations on how to print the poster map and how to print the book and how to get it over here. So it's going to all be fulfilled that way. And my lovely wife has been sending me ideas of all sorts of swag to make. Like pens and cups. I'm going to have a Shadowsun cup at North Texas. I'm going to have Shadowsun shirts. It's going to be kick-ass.
I've
Bring me
got
a
an
couple
idea
Nexus Hexes.
for like high level swag for you.
High
Now,
level
I don't
swag.
know if you can find somebody that can do it, but your
Cloth
version
map?
of this, the cloth map.
Well,
nice.
my map is so huge that
Yeah, I know.
it would be hard to
This
do.
would be a
cloth
small
map.
one. Yeah, everything
Yeah.
would be small on it.
But you know who did that though is Jeff Talanian. He did a Cloth Hyperborea map. They ran $100 if I remember right, retail if you wanted
Oh,
one,
wow.
and there was a
How
limited
big was it?
selection or something. It's about that. I mean, it wasn't
Okay.
all that.
Well,
It was like, you know what I
well,
mean?
let me
it was
show you
nice.
this, Joe. I'm going to screen share this.
All right, we are sharing a screen.
All right.
Back
So
in
this
the
is
late
the-
'90s,
hold
I
on
made
here.
one of those with everything on it, and it was like I bought a
gotta
piece
add
of
this. Let
huge
me
piece of stuff.
hold on.
Yeah.
Let me bignify here. Let me get rid of this shit first.
This
Get rid
is
of
at
that.
6%.
There we go.
This is at 6% zoom, right? So if we
Yeah.
go to 15% zoom, if we go to 25% zoom, you can keep going. Like,
Wow.
these are 6 mile hexes inside the 20 mile hexes,
Wow.
right? So the detail level on a poster map is going to be crazy.
So wait a minute. So each hex, where's a 20-mile hex? Which one is a 20-mile?
The numbered hexes are 20 miles.
So and then if you zoom in on each one, there are smaller hexes in them.
Yeah. See the smaller hexes?
1916. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, holy shit, dude.
Yeah, so
That's
Glenn
insane,
Seal
man.
did this map at 600 DPI. So it'll be photograph quality when you print
That's
it.
beautiful, dude. Yeah, I couldn't even see the smaller ones. Damn my
Yeah.
eyes.
And it has all
That's
kinds
fantastic.
of hand-drawn features like this. This is what I was looking for. This wall here, it was a huge like a wave of sand that got turned into mountains by mage like thousands of years ago. There's places that are like Yellowstone, or the place in Turkey that the Romans use. I can't remember the name of it.
Yes.
Yeah, with the calcium deposits.
Yep.
There's places that are like frozen moors, but they're deserts. So there's just tons of stuff. This is your island here, Joe. The island of the fire giants.
Oh,
The
right.
fire giants are the only people that got a lot of metal in Shadow Sun. And if you want to go adventuring on this, you have to cross these gray tiles are dust sinks. So it's like a lake of dust.
Wow.
To cross, like, so it has little high points like when you're crossing like a swamp.
Yeah.
And you can rest and camp there, but you have to cross it like it's a swamp of dust.
That's kind of badass, dude.
Yeah, so all kinds of cool stuff on this map.
Do you need a KN95 mask to get across to breathe well?
Well, if you've ever seen the Dark Sun art, you know there's a lot of head coverings. Yes.
Speaking of art, don't you have something to share with us art-wise?
Yeah, this is. Let me see. I'll put the character creation
sound just like wonky
first, and this is the.
While you're looking at that,
yeah.
While you're looking for that, I am writing something for Silt Skimmers. That I.
What do you mean?
That's kind of once again for you were talking about the dust sinks. I'm writing something for Silt Skimmers.
All right,
awesome.
Cool. Let me add.
I've already designed like 15 of them. So.
Yep. So
right, here we go.
This is the character creation in the player quick start, and the quick start doesn't have it, but there's full page art for each of these ancestries. So like in the actual book, there's a full page dwarf art, a full page elf art, and so on, and then art for for all the classes. We've got equipment stuff.
Wow.
Really cool stuff.
You went ancestry, huh, Greg? You went ancestry instead of race, huh?
Hey, you got to do what you got to do. This is the this is the Goliath ancestry. Ancestry's in Shadowdark, man. What do you want me to do?
You gotta stick with it. I get it.
Yeah. So every ancestry has a full page like that, and then it has all of the tier 1, tier 2 spells for arcane and for nature.
This is the quick start, right, Greg?
Yeah, this is in the quick start. This is actually a version. I actually had this on my desktop. I didn't realize these art pieces are come in for most of these.
All right.
So there's that. And then this is the GM Quick Start, which has 2 of the terrain types, sand, sea, and savanna encounters.
Okay.
And it has dungeons. I actually came up with, Shadowdark has 3. Deep tunnels, ruins, and caves, right? So I've got 8 types. Burrows, so it's like an ant hill or burrowing rats or something. Canyons, deep caverns, lava tubes, ruins, shafts, which has a creation system where you're creating small levels that are vertical, like you're going down into a mine. Surface caves and tombs, and then each of those is tied to their own random encounters. There's cool. In Shadowdark, it's not in the quick start, but there's like you randomly determine room contents and dungeon layouts. That's all in this, which wasn't in the original Shadowsun. So
here's a question.
Yeah, you can roll out all randomized stuff.
Here's a question regarding random tables, because Matt Finch's Tome of Adventure Design and his other Tome of World Building and all that, it's a huge book of an insane amount of random tables, and plus he added in those funny words on the side that sort of trigger your brain in ways you don't know, almost in a sneaky way to make you more creative on your own. But anyway, the book is so many tables, so many lists, right? And I ask myself now if I could just go on ChatGPT and generate, here's 50 tables. You know what I mean? Did you use any AI for any of this? Because they're going to be asked.
I do not use AI at all because the output is shit. The only reason it appears to not be shit is because you are not an expert at whatever you're asking it. That's why you're asking it. But it's like if you know a lot about any subject, and you watch a news story on it, you're like, oh my God, these people are ignorant as fuck. That is what ChatGPT is like. You just don't know what it is that you're listening to because that's why you're asking it. If you are an expert in something, start talking to the AI about it, and you will be amazed how absolutely retarded and stupid it is. It does not know anything. If you ask it to make a list of 50 items, the first 10 will be okay, and then it will start combining them. It'll say you'll find an elf, and then the next one is you'll find a mermaid, and then there'll be one where there's an elf that's talking to a mermaid, and then there'll be a mermaid that's chasing an elf, and it's just feeding back on itself constantly. The longer you use it, the shittier it is. It's a worthless tool, and I don't use it at all. I don't use it for art either because it generates errors that you don't find until after you've used the art for a while, and you're like, oh my God, that guy's leg is actually not in the right place. And this is whatever. I've seen people talk about these problems. I don't use them. I think it's bad. And then I saw a video today from, I think his name is Lich House, is another YouTuber. It's a D&D YouTuber. And he said he wants to create a space where it's only human interactions. He has so much AI happening in his business stuff and his life. He's like, fuck all that. In this space, no, not here. This is a human space. And I feel that really resonates with me.
I agree. You were the first person, Greg, when we were talking about it in our group chat a couple of years ago, 3 years ago when it first came out. And a few people were, and we had this old school chat going, and a few people were talking about how it's good and this and that. And you were saying something like, what about, human endeavor? What about like the things that make you
I remember you laughed that's what I said. You said
it was something
endeavor.
Yeah. What about the sum of all human endeavor? What about the meaning of life? It was that was your take on it. I'm like, I didn't see that coming from you. You know what I mean?
I haven't said this in the D&D chats, but I use it in real life chats all the time. Which is, would you rather have a world where people were posting authentic videos of real animals to Facebook, or an endless stream of fake videos of fake animals doing what the AI imagines animals might do to be funny? Right? I don't think anyone chooses the AI option. Like I would rather have an infant. No, I want to see a real cat fall off a real bed like that. That's what I want to know. I don't want to see a cat fall in a way the AI thinks it might fall. It could jump like this. Fuck that. Real cat, real role-playing games. You heard it first.
And Greg is actually real, by the way. He's glitching in and out. I think because he's talking shit about AI, AI is actually attacking him right now, making him glitch in and out as if to make it look like he's AI, but he actually is real. And I'm going to meet him for the first time after how many fucking years in North Texas, right?
That's right. And I don't even have to fight you like Rob Conley did.
I know. We did a little foam sword fight. Chris, you going to North Texas, dude?
Right now I don't have the one. I'm not signed up for it. I didn't find out about it until like last year, and I just don't have the travel budget right now. Any travel that's being done, my wife is very into travel right now, so any travel that is being done. Like we are doing something really cool, like 2027. There's a solar eclipse happening, and we're going to Egypt to see it. But
dude, that's awesome.
That's the reason why I don't have any money to go, because I would love to go to other cons, because I've only ever been to three cons, and two of them were basically 1 year and the next year of the same con. So I don't really know cons all that well. That's one of the things that I wanted to talk about here, and maybe you guys and maybe the chat could chime in too, was other things to do besides just sitting at the game table and playing. Because I've got 3 or 4 things. Like Greg's gonna help us out with at least one of them, if not two. Yeah, with at least one of them. And so he's going to be doing a panel where he can answer questions about whatever, Shadow Sun or any of his other products, or his where he went to second grade, whatever they want to know. And I've got let's see, there's another fella named Jason O'Mahony. And I didn't know him before this either, but he's planning something really crazy. You've heard of the really large games where they've got a bunch of tables, and each table has a dungeon master or a couple of tables per dungeon master, and they run like the world's largest game. He's wanting to run a game with like 100 people plus in it that he's dungeon mastering by himself. It's going to be
Has he ever done this? This could be awesome or complete shit show. Has he ever done this before?
It could be one way or the other, but talking to him, he seems to be very confident that he's got it figured out. Now, one of the things he's going to do is it's going to be like a big gladiatorial arena thing. And it's not necessarily just going to be last man standing, because there's going to be in Dark Sun, and he'll probably come up with some of his own. There are other kinds of things that you can do that aren't just last man standing, kind of capture the flag type of thing, or the first person that does this, or first blood, So he's going to be doing something like that. That's just going to be this enormous game. And from talking to him, he's wanting to get in contact with Guinness and all that. So maybe he can get some dark beer there. Let's see. And one of the other things that I've got planned that I just came up with is doing like Dark Sun Jeopardy.
All right.
And having like volunteers go around, and if anybody's interested, asking them like five relatively easy questions, and out of all the people who answer those questions, the 3 who do the best on them, and they'll probably be rolling off to see who goes on, get up on the stage, and we have an actual like 3-round thing that's set up very much like Jeopardy.
Dude, you got to ban the phones, man. If you have a trial run or something, ban all phones, because they're gonna be cheating their asses off.
Yeah. That's one I've written up the rules, and any outside help or outside, it's got to just be off the top of your head. Because like you said, otherwise they'll just be like, But once again, what he was talking about with AI being shit, stuff like that, AI gives you the wrong answer all the time.
True.
So where it's very specific things.
I asked Grok, because I'm on Twitter a lot. I asked Grok to compare Shadow Sun and Dark Sun, and it began inventing all kinds of things that were in Shadow Sun that were not in Shadow Sun, and then things that were in Shadow Sun it claimed were in Dark Sun, and started doing all this. It became discombobulated. It was crazy.
Were any of the things it said, were you like, Maybe I'll add that.
No, it was all shit.
Probably not. But then the only other thing I've got right now
play as a full-size giant in Dark Sun, and I was like,
instead of a half giant,
yeah, because it read somewhere like that, there's a big character or whatever, so it just said, oh yeah, you can play as a full giant. It didn't have Goliath or half giant or any term. It just said it's giants, a playable race. Yes.
Yeah. Damn. Oh, and the only other thing I know off the top of my head that it'd just be something people could do and come look at is I'll have a little photo area. And I'm thinking about maybe doing a costume contest, but I don't know if I'm going to do that or not, just because that's asking for people to have their ass hanging out when it comes, because it's hot weather world and there's a lot of that. Or going around
in your age or your audience, I think, for costumes.
Yeah,
like, the next person is getting their ass in a fucking costume, but the young folks like that shit, right?
Yeah, but I've got like a few backgrounds from where I do my Dark Sun actual play. I figured some of the better ones I could put up and people could take pictures in front of them if they wanted to. Like,
all right, you're standing up, and unlike Eric Tankard, or no tidy buddies.
Yeah, I've actually got pants on.
unlike me.
Yeah.
All right, we got some.
Stuff that I've drawn.
Oh, cool, man.
As the backgrounds.
Yeah.
I'll have to roll that up later. Speaking of stuff like that.
So a couple of things, Chris. I've only been to a few cons, right? I went to North Texas once about 3 years ago, and like it is expensive. I mean, not North Texas, but cons if you're traveling out of state.
Yeah.
The one I go to all the time is ShireCon because it's an hour away in Connecticut, right?
Yeah.
So the one thing that cons seem to have in common is it auctions. Right. So you when you walk in the door, you bought your ticket, you got your name badge thing, your little lanyard, and you get an auction ticket, and there's like 4 or 5 jars, and each jar is on top of a stack of books or things, right? And so you put your ticket in a jar, right? And then at the end of the first day or whatever, the guy draws the tickets out of a hat, out of the jar, and then whoever this ticket is wins that thing. And then all tickets, all right, don't throw your ticket out if you lost, because all tickets go in a big mega jar for the big thing. So that's just a cool little thing that everybody loves. It's usually done during lunch because you play till 12, you have a 1 or 1, and then you get an hour break, then you start the 2 o'clock game slot, right? You do it during lunch, and that's a fun thing. North Texas does a whiskey tasting contest generally, but you may not want to start with that. But if you're doing dark cons, some sort of dark beer, like you were saying, that could be fun.
I am thinking about going to the hotel bar and saying, "Hey, do you have mead?" And if you do, call it Broy.
That's it. Because they did special drinks at North Texas at the bar there for the con. They named a standard old fashioned into some weird fucking name, but it's a goddamn old fashioned, but has some D&D related name, right? The Beholder's Brew, whatever, something like that. That's a fun thing. And food vendors, if I don't know what the location is, but if it's a hotel with food, that's great. If not, get a couple food trucks. Right? Cheap food.
This hotel won't let me do it. Yeah, the hotel won't let me have outside food in there. They've got their own restaurant, and there's a lot of food close by, even sit down restaurants close by.
Yeah.
So I'm going to give I'm thinking about doing like a 2-hour lunch break because they may have to drive 4 or 5 minutes and then go. And if everybody hits at the same time, there may be a little bit of a wait, that kind of thing.
Yeah. You maybe have a list of all the places to go, and anybody that delivers put their names on a piece of paper with
that's another thing.
Pizza, here's the number, that kind of shit,
that's another thing. They won't let me have food delivered.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, they're being real. I'm not sure I'm going to use them next year. They're being real stingy about that. It's because they want to sell their $20 bag lunches with a po' boy and an apple in it or something,
Well, Roger in the chat is GM Roger, runs Central New York Con.
Yeah,
and I'm sure he has a lot of great ideas.
Where is he, Greg? Which one? I'm missing him.
Roger Reeves. I don't know how to pronounce this.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go. Okay.
Reeves.
Yeah. There you go. You're CNY, Roger, right?
Yeah.
I'm still I'm still Roger. I'm still on the verge of going. If you weren't literally the next weekend after North Texas, I'd so be in for it. But I was checking it out. It's like a 4-hour drive for me, man. I don't know if I could do it.
I told Roger that if Shadow Sun's Kickstarter pulls in 100K, I will definitely go to his convention.
All right.
And he has my word on that, buddy.
All right. There you go.
Now I know somebody who's heading to CNY. One of my buddies from around here who's actually trying to help me out with this a little bit, and he's wanting to do a con next year, maybe that's more general, old school OSR. Okay. But he's still working out a lot of the details, so he doesn't have like a date set yet. And I don't want to say the name that he's picked, since I don't know where he's at as far as that's concerned. But he's going up to CNY. You guys know. I'm sure you know him from his chat name. You know, Death Angel Shadow.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
It's him.
Yeah. Well, I was supposed to be in a Dark Sun game that was a gladiatorial adventure of some kind at North Texas, and unfortunately, the guy who was running it had to pull out for health reasons, and so I'm not going to be able to play in it. But I picked a different game to steal somebody else's special knowledge, so I'm still on track.
I collect DMs the same way, Greg. I look for the DMs names that I recognize. I'm like, I'm gonna play. Like when I met the North Texas, there was a couple on my list. Matt Finch was one of them, and I got into his game, and he ran like a 15-player table. I was shocked. I'm like, how the fuck is this shit show gonna work? And he did. He worked it just fine. I mean, he knows how to fucking do it, right? Yeah.
My sweet spot's always been about 5 players, but you get more than about 8, that's kind of like, whoa, gets a little unwieldy.
Caller, I guess he probably has like each party has a caller, and then that's the person who's feeding him information.
Matt went around the table. There was no initiative order. Boom, 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 boom.
Oh, that was
boom, 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 boom. It was like that kind of a thing, you know. That's how he handled it. He made everything fast. And I thought, well, I could blank out for ADD moment. I blanked out for a minute. I come back, he's already back at me. I'm like, Jesus Christ, already? What the fuck? What's going on? I was shocked.
You see his finger pointing at you, huh?
Yeah.
What are you gonna do? Roll it.
I died. So yeah, I just put the links again in the channels, guys. And I'll throw up Greg's Kickstarter in there as well. Check it out. And boom. And I will put the so there's our channel links. There's Greg's Kickstarter. And again, I'll put the Facebook page. I'm sorry, Patreon. My bad. Patreon.
The Kickstarter will go live on Tuesday. This is another example of shit that I really wish I didn't have to do, but it is reality in today's world. That Tuesday is the best day for distributing information in the role-playing game community. Why? So if you want to launch your Kickstarter, if you want to do whatever, you need to do it on a Tuesday. You need your Kickstarter to end on a Thursday so that the 48-hour reminder that goes out to everybody occurs on a Tuesday. There's these crazy things. It's just the way the algorithms work. I have to create this preview page and leave it up for like 2 or 3 months to get lots of people to say, please notify me when this goes live, so that then when it goes live, they'll all click in. And the more people click in on that first day, Kickstarter starts referring things and say, hey, you might be interested in this Kickstarter, whatever, to people. You have to structure your whole existence as an independent creator now around how these systems work. Rob Alderman, the guy who did Gods of the Forbidden North, it's a public facing status update on, I think, the second Kickstarter for Gods. It was volume 1, 2, and 3. I think it's the second one. He has his tips for how to run a role-playing game Kickstarter, and tons of information for anybody looking to do it. Stuff that you just don't think about, how to bundle things together, how to structure your page.
Yeah. I'll be picking your brain in about a year and a half.
All kinds of stuff you'd never think about unless you just really study and pay attention to how these things work. Yeah. It's a different world than it used to be. It's good in a lot of ways. I never would have been able to do this, 20 years ago. But today it's great. Yeah, Gumbalier is correct. It is Tuesday. Is people have already gotten through their terrible Monday and they're bored.
Yep. It's funny because my best day in terms of video drops are Mondays, and Fridays. So it's Mondays like
Monday
fuck
might be
work.
different for you're not selling something, so to speak.
Yes.
You're giving them something to distract them from that shitty Monday.
That's it.
There
That's
you go.
it. Noon. If I drop it around noon on Monday, people are like, I could watch something at work and take my mind off of this nonsense job I have, my bullshit job. And Friday, it's like, yes, it's Friday. Let's look at something fun. So Monday, Fridays are really good for me. Tuesdays are kind of not so much. Sunday, for whatever reason, I guess, according to my algorithm, my analytics or whatever the hell, like there's a big block of time where most of my people are around between 12 and 4. So that's why I drop longer videos because they got the time to watch it. This is like, church is over, whatever, all your bullshit Sunday stuff is gone. You're chilling out, and geeks don't watch sports. So you're putting on a long video, right? So that's it.
Exactly.
Yeah. That's
the world we have to live in now. Like this is just the way it is. Yeah.
I know. Yeah, I mean, it's a good tool. AI is a good tool for helping to discover these little, things about your channel, about your analytics and things like that. It's a good tool for a little bit of research, but I will never use AI to write anything for me. I will never use AI for art. I will never use AI to do the things that I like to do. Ancillary things like I used AI, Claude AI, to make my fucking HTML character sheet. I used Claude AI to program the same character sheet in Roll20. That's good. I'm play testing it now. It works fucking fine, but AI is giving good insights into the channel. Like this is a good
come a long way
idea.
then on the art front, especially. Yeah,
I was against it, dude. And honestly, God, I mean, it's like I guess because I know artists, you know what I'm saying? It's like I think AI art is absolutely inevitable. There's going to be a time. It's the old guard, right? We look back upon the day when that's a Trampier thing. This is an Elmore thing. This is like we have this fond memory of these art and the artists, and we love it, right? The Diesel stuff. And like I bought a Diesel. I saw Diesel at fucking TotalCon, and I bought a thing of his. It was a redo of the Paladin in Hell. He redid it. And he had a larger picture because the smaller one was so small it wouldn't expand bigger, right? So we had to redo it. So I bought that, and I got to find a place for it. But the bottom line is that once we die off, the younger generation doesn't give a fuck whether the art is AI or not. The younger generation doesn't care whether the cat falling off the bed is real or not. They just don't give a shit. They want to be entertained.
I don't know that that's true. I don't know that that's true. I also think there are certain times where our morals and our legal systems are not evolved for whatever the issue is, and there's a gap. So, like, before you had certain technologies, you could just walk around and people could look at your book, and they can't duplicate your book. So by you having it as a physical object, there's all kinds of just inherent copy protection because you can't copy a book. But then once you invent copiers and kids start copying everything, you start making your maps blue so that it doesn't copyright on the page, right? So it's the systems, the culture that we have in place is not evolved for the way that our technology is working. It's going to get reconciled eventually. Yeah. I don't know that it's going to get reconciled in the way of, well, forget it, because then there's no incentives for people to create. If I put a book on drive-through and then the next day somebody puts an AI copy of the book that's just altered enough that it's not technically a copyright violation, is that morally okay? I don't think very many people would think that it is. So the technology is evolving so fast that the cultural tools we have, the legal tools that we have, they just don't line up to that.
Are we going to count on these ancient fucking politicians to understand that they have to pass a law to do anything about it when their biggest donors are the people behind the technology? No.
Yeah.
That's the sad thing about it. I think that by the time they realize they need to do something, the cat's out of the bag, and they will have pick and chose different jurisdictions to get their shows in court case through in order to make sure that their pet judge does the right fucking thing that they want them to do. That's the sad thing about it. I think it's going to be rough. I think that creativity is going to be for the sake of creativity. Why do I make YouTube videos? Why do I run D&D games? Right? Why do I sit there and fine tune a book or make my character sheet just perfect? Because I enjoy it. Why do I prep for 12 hours for a 3-hour game? Because I fucking love it. Right. I think it's going to be an act of love, an act of joy, an act of creativity. And that's what's going to compete against AI, because people are going to be able to tell, at least for the short term, what was truly created because somebody loved the fucking thing. Long term, maybe AI will get better. I don't know. But short term, at least you will develop a name, right? You will develop a name as somebody who cares and creates something out of passion. I think that'll show through, and then maybe you could carry that forward. Yeah, you're going to get ripped off. I mean, Christ, I followed this guy on YouTube, Predictive History, right? I sent you a link to his videos, I think, Greg. And there are so many knockoff videos of an AI version of him saying things that he would say. And they're just hundreds of thousands of followers because he's popular, right?
Yeah.
And it's not him. And he's still got hundreds of thousands of followers. That's insane, dude. It's sad. It's insanely sad, you know? Yep. Insanely sad. Yeah, it makes you want to go back.
They're not going to copy Dark Sun because it has moral problems that the AI doesn't like.
Really? Tell me so. Yeah. What moral problems are in Dark Sun?
So Dark Sun is one of the problems I have with Forgotten Realms. This is why I like Dark Sun and why I went in this direction. Is the Forgotten Realms imagines a world in which certain things that would inevitably happen just simply don't happen because of some imaginary reason. So you've got people living in idyllic farms surrounded by forests packed with monsters. If the forests are packed with monsters, you can't live on idyllic farms and walk around like hobbits. The Shire is the way it is because there's no monsters in the Shire, right? If you have monsters, you can't live like that. So Dark Sun, it really seriously looks at what would it be like if you're living on the edge of deprivation, where you're really uncertain where your food is going to be long term. Humans can't just plan 1 month of food in advance, right? Like we have to have long-term plans for how we're going to take care of ourselves and how things are going to work. And if you don't have reliability, you get extreme tyranny, violence, slavery, all kinds of bad stuff that happens because people want to ensure their survival.
Interesting. You got a super chat. That was in your channel, Greg. Yeah. So you must answer said question. What is y'all's favorite
Mark Madley is one of my patrons. Nice. What is y'all's favorite Dark Sun adventure? I actually did a video on it. It's Freedom. I feel like Freedom embodies what Dark Sun is all about. Like that, people criticize it and say, "Well, there's evil in the setting, right?" Like, yes, you're fighting against evil, right? So you couldn't have an adventure where at the beginning of the adventure you get arrested in the street and arbitrarily enslaved, and then you go through a period where it's like in Gladiator when they're doing the slave training in Gladiator, where they're fighting with wooden weapons and stuff. Like you go through this kind of training montage part of the adventure, and then you go out into the grand arena, and then shit goes sideways, and there's all this chaos and fighting and violence and everything. You ultimately escape to be free. That's why it's called Freedom. Like it embodies this. So if you got rid of slavery, you'd lose the whole module.
There it is. Yeah. All right. And the module's a box set, huh?
No, it's a satchel box.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
okay.
It has those spiral bound things in it though.
Yeah, it came with those, and then all the old Dark Sun stuff also has a like a short story that comes with it. That sometimes in the back has some like NPCs or monsters or stuff like that.
That's cool. Now, what is the culture of Dark Sun? I mean, Chris, you're probably more familiar than most with it. What
it depends on the city state. It depends on the city state. Some of them are
not internally. I mean of Dark Sun fans and players. What is it about? Like what are you going to see at your con, dude? You know what I mean? What are we going to come across? Like, we all know D&D geek culture, right? We're gonna see certain things at a D&D con, and Dark Sun is a step aside from D&D, right? A little like a cousin. So what is it like when you go to your con? What are we going to see?
That's going to be hard to say as far as who exactly would because I'm actually surprised at some of the people who show up like on the main Dark Sun Facebook page. It's like, you like Dark Sun? You're talking about all this. You can't be mean to people. Don't say this. Don't say that. You know, it's like, okay, you seem a tad on the sensitive side to find it appealing, but you know, different strokes for different folks. But at the same time, it's going to be they've done a few polls on that Facebook page that had 2,000 or 3,000 people participate in them each time, so it feels like a pretty good representative sample. And it seems like they've still got between 58 and 62% are talking about still wanting to play 2E. There's a smaller group, usually about 12%, that's 3.5, and the reason for that is because of one, the popularity of 3.5, and two, the people at athos.org for a long time they only did 3.5 stuff, I guess, because they figured that was their mandate. They've done a little stuff that's 5E now. There's another 10 or 12% that like 5E, and then there's like still 1 or 2% that I don't know why, but they go with the 4E version of it, which I really wish had never come out because they really screwed it up royal. But they did, you know, that's 4E in general for you.
Didn't I hear, Greg, you were mentioning there, I think, right? There's rumors of a 5E Dark Sun or something?
Well, there was a lot of speculation.
All right.
Because
I'd say don't hold your breath on that.
Yeah, they refiled their I think it's a trademark filing, but they refiled something to preserve their rights in some way. And people interpreted that as they're about to do it, right? Yeah. They can't do it again because it is inherently in conflict with their values in that they have a religion. Their religion says this stuff is bad. It also says Al-Qadim is bad. That's another the same thing. People focus on Dark Sun because it's a little bit heavier duty than Al-Qadim, but Al-Qadim is packed with all kinds of things that they can't do. And like, I did a very satirical video on my channel about an Al-Qadim module called Reunion, and the reason why I picked it is it's like a love letter to Al-Qadim. The women who wrote it, they wrote it to highlight all the elements of the setting that they liked. And in order for you to kind of succeed through a bunch of the challenges, you needed to know that you're supposed to be generous to beggars in the culture of Al-Qadim. So when this beggar comes up to you, if you're generous to him, you advance through the scene very easily. If you're mean to him, the GM puts all these in. So it's a very good module to use as an example of how the setting works, supposed to work, right? It's like a love letter to it. And there's a part of the video where I'm like, that it says here in the text that if a woman is in risque clothing or whatever it says, that there's this type of thing that happens. And then I put the picture in the module up and I said, by the way, this was risque clothing in 1990. And it's very tame art compared to what people would see today. So it's like, they can't even live up to that standard of you saying, hey, if you wear what would be modest clothing today, then you'll get this advantage for being risque. No. That we can't even say that at all because it's bad. There's all kinds of things in Al-Qadim. There's all kinds of things in Dark Sun like that. They just
they think that Oriental Adventures is the worst thing ever just because it's got the word Oriental in it.
I was going through I'm doing this Rise of Tiamat adventure review thing. I dropped my 5th one today, right? I'm breaking it down and trying to say what sucks about it and how to make it more old school in vibe and feel. Even if you don't want to run the thing again, or if you never want to run it, period, you can learn how to make things old school. It's like an exercise, right? And so I'm reading through some of this shit, and there was one part of it where the person named Borngray is the head of this castle, and he has bullywugs working with him, and the bullywugs are kind of stupid and like shiny things, right? And so Born Gray gave the bullywugs some things that are obviously from a woman's personal, like, dresser. We're talking like women's jewelry, perfumes, blah blah blah, women's combs. And the bullywug thinks it's great, and Born Gray kind of snickers behind his hand because, haha, I tricked you, it's all women's shit. You think even that would never make it into a fucking adventure these days? Just making fun of an an evil NPC because you're giving him women's things and making fun of him because using. Oh, why can't a bullywug male use a women's? Shut the fuck up. They don't even have hair. They don't need the comb. They don't use perfume. They sleep in mud covered in shit. You know what I mean? It's like just to shut the fuck up. But that's kind of where it's at now, right? Certain things even 10 years ago in D&D 2014 would never be written now in a fucking adventure.
That's right. Because the standard is we have to write this so that no one can complain.
Ever.
And if that's your standard, every iteration will be shittier and shittier and shittier. There's no way to get around it. You have to have some thing that's unique. I just last night, my son died in a role-playing game, not in real life.
Sorry for your loss.
He fell into a pit of acid, and I described how his body was dissolved and skin's coming off, and it's just melting like he fell into a Yellowstone boiling hot spring or something. He's just being dissolved, and people will be okay with that. But if you say, I think that you're ugly or fat, that's a bridge too far. I say this as a fat man, right?
Yeah, I got man boobs. I can make fat jokes. That's the way I look at it.
Of course, I am beautiful. That ugly part doesn't work. But
and I got beautiful hair.
Yeah, so. I also have luscious, delightful hair.
Locks.
But if you have such a skewed moral system that you're upset by somebody making some minor innuendo that has a racial or gender or some kind of basis in it, but you don't mind just melting people's faces off and murdering them, what kind of morality do you have? Why should I care what your morality is?
It's not a morality, it's a power game, Chris. It's not a morality.
Yeah. People have actually given me shit about this.
Slow children at play?
Because of where the comma is. It's slow children at play.
I just caught that.
I got that. We had this hanging up, and I just added a tortoise blade and a dagger and a comma to it and turned it into a shirt.
Oh, yeah.
Very cool. Very cool. So, Greg, what are you bringing for me as gifts in North Texas? A mug and what? What am I getting here?
I was told that my wife is a personalization expert. She gets like this shirt, wrong side, says "See Fun" on it. Right, I got to put it under my name there. It's hard to see. Right, she puts initials on everything. She does, yeah. So she's been hooking me up for North Texas. We're gonna have some Shadow Sun shirts. I ordered a bunch of different sizes.
Right.
I'm going to give them to people I feel are more likely to be on camera than not. So someone like you, Joe.
4X. Yes. I always cut it off here because of the man titties. So until I lose some more weight, Greg, then
I'll have to go with Eric Tenkar and other people. Yeah,
he doesn't care about showing his man titties. He doesn't care about that.
I got to make my choices where I make them.
Yeah.
Marketing expenses are not free. So, I'm going to have some cups that say Shadow Sun or
I will
have my logo on them and some stuff.
I will drink out of your cup.
If you want to see, for him, if you want to see it on camera, you need to get him some Shadow Sun tidy whities.
Tidy whities. That's Eric. Yeah, you get Eric to tidy whities.
Yeah.
And the funny thing is, I don't think he's ever worn tidy whities once. But he has worn his boxer brief things, and I've made fun of him for that. But now I just call them tidy whities. But hey, we got gift memberships here, I think,
from Robert Santon. And Ear Trumpet gave it, and it landed on Robert Santon. A worthy recipient
for me. Yeah, it gave it to my channel. So Robert Stanton is now a member. of my channel. That's really cool, Ear Trumpet, because I think he used to be a member of my channel, and he has shared this in the channel in the past, so I don't feel bad saying it. He had an employment issue recently, and so he had to stop being a member. So your gift to him actually helped him become a member again. So that's awesome.
He's been very generous, super chats and stuff for me
Always.
too. I very much appreciate it.
Yeah. Robert's a cool dude. He, like I said, we all got job issues sometimes, and so so now he's back to being a member. I wish I could gift memberships to people specifically, but YouTube does not let me.
It just
there are certain people I like them so much I would gift them a membership, especially if they're having money issues. But you can only do random gift memberships, you know.
Well, Joe, if you just see DM Blackwall in the chat with the gaming with us, he is a publisher of Horde Wars, and Dropship is his new game. It's like a tactical space XCOM type traveler combat type stuff. And I'm going to be playing in one of his games, but he and I played in the most epic game last year of this board game that Spencer brought. Grognard guy is his YouTube channel. I forget his last name off the top of my head, but Spence, it's like a game from the 70s where you're playing like a Cold War, nuclear war standoff, and you spend like the first 5 to 10 turns of the game with nobody shooting. You're just yelling at each other and preparing to hit each other. And so there's all this shit talking. And then eventually one missile gets fired, and then everybody unloads all their missiles at once at each other. And somehow not enough people struck at the Chubby Funster, who was so kind and gentle that he had the most population left at the end of the game and emerged victorious. So this year, I fully prepare I will be preemptively nuked by everyone. But if you're there, you can play with me.
I will give it a shot, because if it's a game about shit talking,
it's a game about shit talking. Yes,
I mean, you know, I'm there. I'm in it. And
the
let's
only
just
price
celebrate
of
a moment.
entry is that you have to have a funny accent for your country.
I'm the country of Jersey, so I do have a funny accent. My normal fucking Jersey accent.
Yeah, exactly.
I got it. So I'll talk like the Sopranos. My normal fucking accent. Let's just celebrate a moment here, people, because as of right now, I have 24 people watching on my YouTube, and Greg has 21. So fuck you, Greg. I'm beating your ass on YouTube. Ha ha! Well, I got more subs than me.
I have been going through months of terrible day jobbing, and
that means Greg has to actually work during the day.
So I have not been doing as much YouTubing as you. So it's really not a fair comparison, because you know,
and you
it's
hard
still got
actually
write
more than me. You know, you got about $2,000 more than me, I think, right now.
Yeah.
But this last video got me like 100 new subs, man. It's insane.
You did. I think it was the Infinity Gauntlet flipping off. That
see that was kind of nice. I enjoyed that. I was like, fuck you, with the Infinity Gauntlet behind me there. And the Wizard of the Coast fucked up or some shit. Like anything that shits on Wizards of the Coast, it's like gold.
People
you gotta be careful with that, because people will. It'll become that'll be your thing, and it starts trying to refer to you. Yeah,
I don't do it too often, but I met the guy who runs Page Open Shadow, and then ShireCon, and then we were sitting at the table. I was trying to set up my fucking iPad to do a live stream from there for later on that night, and he's on his laptop banging away. And he was like, "Yeah, how you doing? You got what's the Wi-Fi? Well, how do you get in? What's the reception?" We're talking about that. He goes. I said, he goes, "What are you doing?" I said, "I'm just trying to do a stream." He goes, "What are you doing?" He goes, "I'm setting up for my con." I said, "Oh, what con? Page, blah, blah, blah." And he goes, "Well, who are you?" I said, "Oh, I'm Joe the lawyer." And he goes, "Oh, yeah. You're the guy who does that, fuck every 3-word videos." I'm like, "Yeah, I guess like, it's funny what he knows me for, People know my rants, but they don't know the other shit. But people remember the rant videos, right? Even Professor Dungeon Master is like, "I love your rants, man." When we get in person, you know what I mean? He actually did pump a couple of my videos out and got a lot of subs off it, but he likes my rants because he's in the status level of 150-something thousand people. He can't do such things. Because if he did, he wouldn't be the guy who's hosting the Ennies this year. You know what I mean? So it's just
that's the price of the more followers you get, the more you have to actually temper your statements. unless you're going to lean really hard into whatever your shtick is.
Yes.
Unless you're going to
critical drinker, nerdrotic, you're just laying it out every fucking day. Right.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah. Those kind of guys, they get away with that. Geeks and Gamers and Ryan Kell, you get away with that shit. But yeah, RK Outpost. Yeah. So if you're those guys, you just lean into that hard because that's what you're known for. But I think even, they're entertaining and shit, but I can't listen to negativity 24/7. You know what I mean? I need some positive shit. I don't even think Greg, we were talking, we both follow a lot of the same politics shit, to get deep dives. We're both pulling away. I'd rather watch D&D shit because it just gets my mind in a better space. Yeah. I don't want to be negative all the time. I'm
trying to focus on specific things that I care about. Right. So yes. It was last night. I ran Gods of Forbidden North. We're almost at a year into this campaign. After we started it the week after North Texas, so it's really close. And they go into a dungeon, and the first split, they had actually already been to this dungeon before, but some people had died. So the characters were technically new entering the dungeon, a lot of them. And there's a split in the corridor. And down one direction, you can't see anything except corridor. And in the other direction, you can see a statue.
Uh-huh.
And the first thought I had was when I saw this dynamic, they're trying to decide what to do. I was like, just by putting the statue there, that increased the odds of the party going in that direction by 80%, right?
Yeah.
Those are the kind of things that I like to glom onto. What is some specific thing that you can do? Not just general advice, right? There's a level of general advice like you get in Machiavelli's The Prince. You need to know what the terrain is like, and you need to move your army like this, and you need to make these kind of general principles. And you can read Karl von Clausewitz, and you can read Sun Tzu, and it's the same thing, general principles. And then you can pick up an army manual that says, if you want to defend this house, take a board and hammer all these nails into the board and then put it upside down on the steps. And then you go up the steps and you put your grenade hanging over the side like this. And you do it. That's the stuff I'm interested in. I'm not interested in the general principles anymore. I've decided where my general principles are. I don't need to help anymore. I want to know, where do you hang the grenade so that it'll fall down and hit the maximum number of guys at the bottom of the steps? How long should the board be that we're shoving nails into? That's the kind of thing that I'm interested in now. I don't care about watching. You're
talking about for D&D shit or political shit?
Yeah, for D&D shit.
Yeah. I like listening to videos of guys who have passion for it. There's this new guy I came across, RP Grandpa. I just like his channel. He's just a genuine fucking dude. He's got 400 or 500 followers, and it comes up in a feed, and I'm watching this guy. He's just fucking real and genuine. And I'm like, I like this dude. So I reached out to him. I said, I like your channel. Let's try to do a live stream or a collaboration video. It's what little thing I could do with 5,500 subs or so is that if I collaborate with somebody like Chris, maybe here tonight, I can maybe get him some more subs. You know what I mean? And get some more exposure, right? And because it burns my ass that you could be in D&D circles, right? And then there's these tiers. So YouTube has decided, based on when you started and how many videos and COVID and all these other reasons, it's algorithmically determined for the most part that here's the top tier of D&Ders, YouTubers, Dungeon Tubers, or you want to call them. And then there's these other guys who are scrambling for crumbs, in the 2, 5, 10,000 range. And it's these other guys got up there and they don't want to, they pulled the ladder up, It's a very simple thing to just say, hey, let's do a live stream together, right? It's a very easy thing to do, to invite somebody over and just share your fucking people with that person. And maybe if they like that person, like Chris or like Greg, subscribe to their channels, and all the links are in the fucking chat right there. I've been dropping them all day. If you're on their channels and like me, that this is how you share the wealth, because we're all going to rise together. And that way we can actually compete someday with these people. But I think that by the time we get to those levels, they'll all be gone, because they started when it was easy mode, where you start on third base and think you hit a triple, right? And I don't think that these guys could start now.
They're also at the end of what they probably started out wanting to say. And this is not a knock on them. like, let's say that we go to North Texas, right? Me and you sit down, Joe. We talk. It could be a very, very long period of time, but eventually we'll get to a point where it's like, okay, I've said everything I want to say. I'm going to go. Well, I'd see you later, right? There's nothing else left for us to do. The problem with YouTube is that you're not supposed to ever reach that point. Like you're supposed to be like that forever. So people say what they want to say and they get it out and then they're done, right? So my long-term goal, and I'm hoping that I can keep doing YouTube beyond this long-term goal, but I don't know, maybe I'll reach the end of it, is that there are certain products that I see as A-tier product, like top shelf products. And I want to break down why I think that, what aspects of those things I want to take. Like when I was talking about Al-Qadim earlier, like I think having a module that tests people on your setting knowledge, that's a good idea. Like putting things like that into whatever it is, whether it's a whole campaign setting or just an adventure, whatever, that's a good thing. So like identifying specific things until I can create what I think is like the best product, right? Yeah. It has everything from Dolmenwood that I think is the best things about Dolmenwood, pulled out of it. Everything from Gods of the Forbidden North, pulled out of it. Leaving behind the stuff that I don't think is that good for my style, whatever it is, right? Yeah. Like one of the things about Gods of Forbidden North is he has some things in the big town that are a little bit too modernism to me, like a spa and some kind of like the way that people talk. It's got like a little bit too modern, not enough medieval for me. That's cool. I'm not knocking Rob. That's just it. He really liked. There's a guy in there who's kind of like the bad guy in Big Trouble in Little China. That's why it's written with those modernisms, is because it has some of that stuff.
What is Gods of Forbidden North? I've been hearing about it forever.
Oh my god. It's a 3-volume set. It's a huge hex crawl in subarctic region. That's why I've been running it. I've been running it for a year now, like I said. And
I'm looking at it on drive-through right now.
It's like an Arctic Dolmenwood, to use the reference that you're familiar with. Like it has a similar level. It leans more into religion than Dolmenwood, which leans into kind of fairyisms. But there's cults in there that are really sophisticated cults with all these different qualities and stuff like that. That's the kind of stuff that I think is great and can pull out, right? Like there's a cult that has tiers like Scientology. So when you start at the bottom, you don't realize what you're getting into. You're like, oh, okay, this is just about, becoming one with the universe and finding some shit like that. And then over time, these people get sucked into this really sophisticated cult. Like, I think that's really cool, having depth in your setting like that, right? Yeah. And I've tried to bring that to Shadowsun, having depth to all these different things that I've learned from watching all these videos. But I think I could get to a point where I'm just done saying all that stuff. I figured out the answers that I was looking for, and I'm done. Yeah. I'm just not there right now. I'm not by a long shot.
I had to change up the channel recently. I was at sort of a standstill in terms of new subs. And as I was writing this RPG, right, the 5e hack, I'm like, this is an old school game. I'm appealing to old schoolers. And I ran it through AI for editing purposes, not for writing purposes. I like find the comma mistakes. Shit, where am I missing things? Did I misspell a word? That level of Microsoft Word times 10 editing, right? Found a whole lot of mistakes. Jesus, I suck ass is what I learned from that exercise. But then I said, I said just a general question. I said, well, so what do you think of the book? I think it was using Claude, and it said something that blew my mind. It said that like my audience for this is not the old school people. They're not going to play it. The audience is disaffected 5e gamers. I'm like, well, fuck. Because that blew my mind out, because I'm like an old school guy, even though I played 5e for 8 or 9 years, right? And I have a lot of 5e experience. And it's like, well, not too many people do. Not too many guys who've been playing for 42 years have 8 years of 5e experience under their belt. This game is going to appeal to disaffected 5e gamers because it's very old school in feel. And I'll bring you a copy, Greg. You can take a look at it. I know you like to bust through stuff.
Well, so far I've only touched the 5e book 3 times.
Yeah.
All right. Once when I bought it for my daughter because she wanted to play in a group.
Yeah.
Then she handed it back to me. And then there was another time when I looked up the price of some item so I could get a comparison to another. See,
Yeah.
it was a price of plate mail. I was like, what is the price of plate mail over time?
Yeah, yeah.
But other than that, I've retained a pure heart. So I don't know if I want to touch your book, but
You're uncorrupted.
you can hand it to my son. He unfortunately had to play some 5e with his friends at school, but yeah, I don't know. I want to maintain my chastity here. You know.
All right. Well, you've seen aspects of it in all the games you've ever played through all my various house rule incarnations, so my iterations. So you're going to see that. But that thing changed my mind, and I retooled my YouTube channel to more focus on 5e players who want to just touch into the OSR but don't want to dive in and play old school essentials. In other words, how to OSRify your 5e game to make it more fun. And so I've dived into that, and it's been successful. Like 1,500 new subs since I started doing that. So, and I figure someday it'll help sell this, and I'm giving advice to people, and it's a good thing because I'm having fun. That's the thing. I'm having fun. I'm not burnt out yet. Who knows if I ever will be? But I figure if I could run games online and people have a good time, and if I could, run my game and kickstart it, kick the tires and then maybe kickstart it, I'm good. I don't know when I'll get burnt out. But the other thing too is I'm not going to ever make this my day job, but it might supplement my life in retirement if I ever can retire. Who the fuck knows if we're ever going to be in a place to retire with the world the way it is.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm doing it for,
Well, I figure, the YouTube revenue will pay for North Texas and some barbecue.
That's pretty much it. Yeah. And your son's going, Chris. I'm going to use him as a gym workout buddy. He said he's working out and shit. So we'll hit the gym together there.
Yeah, my son will be there.
All right.
Before we get too deep in the weeds on something else again, I do have a couple of things that I need to ask people who are listening before we shed too many people.
Yeah,
don't mind. I hate to try to reel you back in. But right now I've got 4 things I wanna talk about. I need to find more DMs for one. So if anybody is interested in DMing, if you want to do Shadow Sun, you want to do old school Dark Sun, you want to do the
4th
Dragon Kings, you want to do anything Dark Sun adjacent that has that feel, great. Contact me. Or you can get on the link that Joe's been putting up. The only thing is, be ready for me to email you, because I had like 20 people that said, "Yeah, I want to," and I emailed them, and 4 of them got back to me. The rest of them ghosted me.
Okay.
So be ready. Look for Dark House Rules games.
Check your spam. Check your junk.
Check your junk email. And I'm also, if anybody's a vendor, I'm still looking for a few more vendors.
All right.
And the other thing I wanted to get out is I do have rooms. I was able to get them to give me 25 rooms.
Nice.
So anybody there. And the 4th thing, and then I'll shut up for a little while.
No, we're good. We're going to be wrapping in soon, so this is perfect timing, dude. We're wrapping in a few.
Did what that I sent you, Greg, was the art? Was that good enough to use, or is that just like No.
Yeah, I think it's fun, especially since you were asking about what cons do. There's people who have just modules that they only have at North Texas, right?
Mm-hmm.
That they're going to run at North Texas. Greg Gillespie has a couple of these that are run. So I think if we do that as like a the Dark Con, I want Dragon Cons in Atlanta. So my brain jumped to that. Dark Con, if you have a Dark Con exclusive, this is the module of Freedom with Shadow Sun mechanics. We put that out. That would be good. Yeah, the only way to get it is to be at Dark Con. Yeah.
Now, am I correct that which one are you doing for the first 100 people?
Oh, so what I'm going to do is the Shadow Sun quick starts are going live on Tuesday, right? It's 2 different PDFs, but I just haven't had a chance to do it yet in the build up to this. I'm going to combine them into one and make it as a POD offering with that same drive-through page. So you can get them as 2 separate PDFs, or you can pay for one print copy that's both of them combined. That copy I'm going to have, I think it was 100 that we agreed to. Yeah. The first 100 people that come through the door, with tickets, right, are going to get that just for free as a print item. So it's going to be, so you can you can play whatever. Yeah.
And I'll just send them, you keep them at your table and I'll send them over to your vendor table there. And that way, that sounds great. And then are you talking about also printing up some of the Freedom ones for sale? Is that what you're saying?
I would probably just have them to give to everybody who is in one of the games. So like,
plays your game.
One of the things is I have a personal kind of, I just don't like cold calling, talking to people, just pitching them stuff.
I understand that.
I prefer to just give it to you. So like last year at North Texas, I just brought a bunch of every time I make a change to any of my books, I have to order a new proof copy, and I get that copy in the mail, but then I have to approve the thing. So I've got tons of these proof copies of books. I don't need them to, I'm not running huge games in my house. So I just brought them to North Texas and just gave them away to people. I would play at a table, somebody would be like, hey, I know who you are. I'm like, here you go. Here's your free prize. Nice. So I have a bunch of Shadow City ones that I printed last year. I'm taking to North Texas this year. I'm going to give them away. I have like 8 of them. If you need a print copy fast from drive-thru, order 5 of them because they will print it right away. If you order like 1 book print on demand, they'll wait until it fits into their print on demand schedule. But if you order 5, they'll print it right away and ship it to you.
5 of the same things you're talking about, Greg?
Yeah. So I needed a print copy AS fucking P. Okay. Like, yeah, I needed it right. So I ordered a whole bunch of them and I got them in. So I'm just going to go.
Yes, that's the minimum size of our print orders.
Yeah. Huh? So I will probably have, when everybody that comes to play in one of my games, I'll probably slip them a free something. I don't know what it is. If they're in the Freedom game, I'll give them a copy of the Freedom, whatever.
That's cool.
And then I'll probably print maybe 20 of them to just have on hand if somebody wants to buy one from me. Yeah. I
know, Chris, you had said that you're going to get a Discord soon. Did you ever get that going? Can we link to it, or is it still in progress?
I'm not sure. The person I'm trying to get me to help out with that is not always easy to get a hold of.
Even I'm a retard. I figured out how to do it. You could do it. Just make sure you lock it down.
I'm going to be setting one up soon myself.
Yeah.
Because I find my wife agreed to go be moderator and just I don't want to have to go around and tell people stop having political discussions. Yeah. Stop talking about this guy's doing some spam shit. I got to kick him. I got enough shit in my life to deal with that.
Exactly.
My wife was like, I'll do this as part of the business. I'm like, hey, there we go.
Yeah. So I had to get a moderator in there. I finally hit that critical level of like, I got 100 subs to my Analog Man Cave thing. And I'm like, you know what? Fuck. There was a few things. There's a few spammers, I'm an artist. And for whatever reason, all the Twitter and all the fucking Discord spammers, I'm an artist, hire me. And they're just doing AI shit, But so I finally had to get a fucking mod in there to do this stuff,
But yeah,
it's weird.
One of the I'm probably for now just going to have to go with and I know it's not a great option, but the Facebook event page. Okay. Facebook used to be great, and then they caught on to the fact that they could charge people. Back in like 2017, within 2 months, I got my Facebook page, my business page, to have like 6,000 followers on it, and it actually showed them stuff when I did it. And now, if I put something to that page, maybe 20 of them would see it.
Yeah.
That's what got me to believe in Patreon, because I used to be opposed to Patreon for a long time. I thought it was kind of pretentious. Yeah. But then what I realized is, even if you have 100,000 subscribers on YouTube, and we've seen these videos in the role-playing game community recently, people say, it's just not showing my videos to people.
Yeah.
I can't remember if it was Professor DM or somebody who they had released a video and they showed that using the analytics, they could tell YouTube just was not showing it to their subscribers. And so it doesn't do any good. Having 100,000 subs doesn't mean anything if they aren't being shown what you're putting on the freaking page.
Yeah,
So,
subscription doesn't mean crap.
having the Patreon, at least I know 100% of every post is going to the people that are subscribed to it.
Yeah.
Now, I tried setting up a Patreon, and there's something I'm going to have to erase it and start over. There was something wrong with it. Didn't like wouldn't take my credit card or something. You know, the payment, the way that it could pay me wouldn't take my banking information. I've got a Subscribestar page, which is basically same thing, different. More freedom. At the time that I signed up, it was less. You had to be less careful about what you said. You know. More.
RPG Grandma in the chat is exactly right. There, you can have too much social media stuff.
Yeah,
and it burns you out as an individual.
Here's my social media diet, if you want to call it, in terms of for my thing, for me, not my consumption, but my output, right? I have the Discord, which I'm rarely on, but it's more people who want to talk about shit in videos and just who are fans, right? And I got a moderator in there. I drop video links and I chat once in a while. Say welcome to the channel. I got a Facebook group for me from Analog Man Cave, like 400 members or whatever, and I put links in there. Other people do too, so people use that mostly as members of my channel, you know, who follow me, who also have channels. They're like sharing links to their shit. And that's great. It's like people who are, you know, this little community, you're sharing things within that, so that's awesome. I rarely post anything or talk there because I hate Facebook. I quite honestly hate fucking Facebook. I got like 4,000 subs on followers, friends on Facebook. I never interact over there. Twitter is kind of good. I'm getting into it a little bit lately. I mostly read it. I just post links to videos, but I like reading it. I follow what's going on. Patreon, I do have one. I have Matthew Sherman as my one and only subscriber, and I have some free ones, but I have one paid one. And right now that just offsets what I pay out to other people, $5, right? But I do, after what you said, Greg, I'm going to start doing Patreon probably this summer. I'm going to start doing stuff within a couple of months on Patreon, because it doesn't make more sense. I mean, YouTube is a fickle bitch, right? If you are not doing things on YouTube that hits the algorithm just right, you're not going to get shown anything. And this is a lot of the big time subscribers are feeling this pain now. That's why I said in one video recently, these guys got in, like I said, you know, they're born on third base, thought they hit a triple. They would never be able to compete now. And the style of videos that they used to do is very different than the style that sells now. People want authenticity and real shit. They had these polished things with, you know, the fast edits and sometimes they had gags and this and that and like voices and shticks, and you know, it's like nobody likes that anymore. People are so overdone it. It's like burnt out on that shit that they just want real people just talking. I think
this is one of those things where like fashion is a cyclical process. I know you.
It's like hacky sacks are back.
You were big on the blogging scene back in the OSR blogging phase, right? And then we went to Google Plus, and everybody switched over to Google Plus pretty much because the number of views and interactions were so much higher than when you were doing blogging. So you could make a blog post and get 5 comments, or you could make a post on Google Plus and get 200 comments. So you went over to Google Plus. So then eventually they killed Google Plus. Now you got to start over again. People go to other platforms, they do all this stuff. Patreon is essentially a paid blogging platform. From a structural, if you think about it structurally, that's what it is. So I actually put out a post kind of giving like here's my state of the Chubby Funster brand identity. This is what I'm trying to do. And some of the feedback I got was people were saying, do more free posts, because I was only doing pay. Like, I'm like, that's why you're here, is to see this stuff that I'm working on for Shadowsun. But I've started making occasional free posts talking about different, not parts of Shadowsun, but like, here's what I think about placing the entrance to a dungeon. Here's what I think about how the map should work in these particular areas and stuff like that. And there has been some engagement on that, but it's like a blog, right? Hey, here's my idea on blah, blah, blah. And you put it out there, even if it's it's just for free members. So I think it's cool that we would go back to basically that Substack is the same way. Like it's a Substack, partially paid platform where you can get support for it. Otherwise, why make all these posts that are just going to be picked up by the AI and used to give people the answer anyway without ever sending them to your blog.
Yeah.
Well, my thing with Substack is like somebody told me, I interviewed the guys who made Jascara, the guy and his wife made Jascara. God, I forget their name. I'm sorry. I'm forgetting the name because it's tired. I'm tired. And Hacky Sack kicked my ass. But what they were talking about was they said, don't even talk about your book until you got a landing page. And I'm like, well, fucking Substack's a great landing page. And what I've started doing the last few weeks was I wanted to sort of on my regular, not like this, obviously, but on my videos, like on a Monday, if I want to write them out because I want to make sure I cover all the points. Usually I would just riff or I would do bullet points, but now I'm writing them out because I want to be tighter. I want them to be tight. And then I still riff off of what I write. But at the end of the day, I'm realizing I got like what equivalent of like 15 blog posts here. I may as well drop that shit on Substack and get some people and develop the Substack up. And then I could say, hey, listen, if you want to get into this book, when I drop, just subscribe to my Substack and you'll see it. It's like a mailing list. It's like a list of people who are interested in my shit. Right. And because these essays that I'm writing, because me and Joe and Eric are starting a new series on Friday for the next whatever, focusing on how to be a better player. And so I sat down and I wrote like my confessional of how I suck as a player in so many different ways.
You're really you're terrible.
I suck. I do. So I wrote this like confessional piece. Don't do what I do, motherfucker. And that's coming out on Friday. It should be really fun. Everybody looks at all my evil mistakes. But my brother's going to be glorifying. Yeah, motherfucker, I told you, you're a dick. So it's like that kind of shit. But I'm thinking to myself, this is probably good advice for anybody. I could drop this fucking essay I wrote on Substack. It's not the same word for word as my video because, I riff off of it always, right? But here you got a blog post. I'll put it up there and it's fucking content. And on Patreon, I would drop things like you're doing, Greg. Like here's my skill system. Here's my Ranger. What do you think? Give me feedback, right? So I got two different platforms for that. So Patreon and Substack are coming. The links are below if you want to like click in it now and get in there, guys. But there's no real content yet. Give me a couple months and then we'll get into it. That's pretty much my social media output, though. In terms of input, I just listen to YouTube videos about D&D. That's it.
YouTube for distribution is pretty high. Yeah, getting lots of views. So it's good to have multiple platforms for different purposes.
Yeah. No, I agree.
But if one day YouTube starts not recommending your videos anymore, you'll have another platform to shift to do that.
Exactly. Get the backup plan. Yeah. Where are you, Chris? Where's your shit?
Where shit.
Where is your shit? And I've been linking your YouTube.
I haven't put a whole lot up lately, but at Subscribestar at Dark House Rules, I've got all kinds of stuff. I've got everything.
You got a link? You got a link for that?
Let's see if it'll let me do it.
Put it in the private chat, Chris, and I will put that. Once it's in the private chat, I'll drop it into the main one, and then it goes out to all the channels. All right. So I've been putting all the links to all of our channels, guys, in there. Please like, and subscribe to all that stuff. Share the wealth amongst us. We're all friends here, It's kind of cool. There it is. Because I've been
I put like when I'm working on something, I'll put a little bits of it. Like, I was talking about the cell skimmer thing that I'm working on. This is something that I put up for my I made for my
what do you got?
What's it called? Actual play game, and it's
all right.
A cell skimmer map and all the stats. Or I might put up, like, once again, this is character art that I did for my game.
Oh, you made that yourself?
Art. Yeah, I drew that myself.
You drew that?
Yeah.
It's fucking awesome, man.
I told you, I've offered you for years that
you have, and you sent me great pictures. I was like, you're in, dude. Once I get it going, I do need the art. So
I mean, here's another PC from the same game.
It's fucking great, dude. You use a computer for that, or you use like a paint?
Yeah, I use my hang on just a second. Let me get this off the top of it and I'll show you.
So you're open for commissions too? Like people reach out to you, say, will you draw this? Like whatever.
I could do that. I haven't had anybody yet, but this is basically what I use. That of course my stylus. There we go. There's my stylus.
Okay. Little iPad action stylus.
I used to use Photoshop to draw, but Photoshop started scraping everything for their AI, and I wasn't going to train their AI for them. So I'm now going to I use Affinity now. And they have an AI, but they supposedly don't scrape. Yeah. They didn't. Photoshop put this thing in their terms of use that said anything that you do using our products, we're going to scrape.
Jesus, these fuckers.
So
You know,
I was like, yeah, let's get away from Photoshop.
yeah,
Get away
yeah,
from
that
Adobe.
makes sense. Makes sense.
Plus, Adobe has been screwing us, with their subscription model for years, and in Affinity you can do the one-time buy thing.
That's what I did.
And it'll update.
Yep, Affinity Publisher too, $50 or whatever, and I got it for life.
Yeah,
I'll never
and
exhaust
the version of it I have it's got a photo editor, it's got an Illustrator, and it's got a layout.
Oh, nice
thing, all three in one package.
Nice.
Give me a second. I'll tell you what it's called.
Do you remember, Joe, back when they announced I think it was, I don't want to say it was the CEO because that's Chris Cox, right? But some new person was in charge of WotC for something. Maybe it was Ayub. I can't remember. But so many people were like, on Twitter, they were like, if I was the president, I would do blah, blah, blah. And so many people did that it started fucking up the AI. The AI was like, well, Joe the lawyer is going to be the next president of So so if you do have something that is training the AI and you're annoyed about that, just begin speaking falsehoods all the time. Pick up your phone and say, Guatemala is the largest country in Asia. Things like that. Just start feeding it an endless amount of wrong answers. It'll help the world. It'll help the planet. Don't worry about your carbon footprint. Worry about your AI footprint. So just start feeding it an endless supply of crap, and it will all go away.
Yeah, I've heard of people using like invisible what do you call it? The text along the bottom.
Marking text.
Having it invisible, and the AI will read that, and you can put all kinds of crazy information in it, but but your viewers won't see it.
Nice.
So it helps screw the AI that way too. But
that's cool.
But yeah, I'm like Greg over here. I have a moral objection to AI. I think it's pretty much all theft, and also I think people need purpose to be happy, or to be satisfied in life. And
I didn't hear about this Darth Vader AI from RPG Grandma. Tell us more about this Darth Vader AI. But I did hear about this was like 3 or 4 years ago now. There was some social media platform that was really aimed at like people under 20. So it wasn't a thing I even was into at all. Yeah. But they had some problem with bullying. And so they took an AI and they tasked the AI with solving their bullying problem. And the AI calculated that it was more efficient to just figure out who was going to get bullied and ban those people preemptively. So it went around and it picked the people that it thought was the biggest losers and then just banned them off the platform. And bullying went down enormously. It was amazing. But the company didn't feel like that was the right approach.
I wonder why.
Didn't understand the assignment, huh?
All right, guys, listen, I got work tomorrow. I know, Greg, you started to have more work at work tomorrow. So,
man, it's been intense. It's been,
Chris, I think you said you retired, right, Chris?
Semi.
Nice.
I'll probably start working again here pretty soon, but I've got, I've got my 100% VA. So been kind of living off that while I'm writing stuff. Yeah. But tomorrow I've got to start drawing a cover for Scirithile of the Worm. So,
all right, that's cool. That's cool, man. All right, guys, I've been dropping links all over the damn place here. So click on all our channels, click on everything for DarkCon, click on the links for Greg's Patreon, follow what's going on with the new Shadow Sun. At least the Dark Sun, Jesus.
There's a free membership tier, so you'll just get only like conversational stuff about role-playing game topics, and then like announcements like, hey, this is where to go to get the new Kickstarter and so on.
There you go, guys. And thank you, Chris, for joining. Thanks, Greg, for joining. This has been cool. It's been fun, and it's good to finally meet you, Chris. Like I've seen you in comments forever. I can finally put a face to a name in the comments. I'm bad with names, but now I can remember you.
Been watching you from like 2 or 3 years into the camp, into the fire pit. years.
Yeah.
But,
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, we got to get another one going over those with my brothers. Again, it's got good fire pit weather now. So,
well, Joe,
problem is that
one of the things you will love about this Shadow Sun thing is that since there's very little water, right? I thought smoking would be a much more important thing. So I shifted a bunch of potion type effects to smoking. So if you want to get this effect, you need to sit around and smoke for 5 minutes, and then that'll turn on the effect, and it'll be good. You're gonna like it.
That's a pretty cool idea. Instead of doing the potion fruits.
I haven't had a drink, no booze in 3 or 4 months, and no weed in 2 or 3 months. So it's I like the it's just too hard in the morning, dude. Honestly,
well, I had to research everything that people smoke and come up with all kinds of ideas, because it's easy to come up with 3 or 4 things, but if you want to make a D20 table of things to smoke, like you gotta really dig.
Yeah. No, there's it's just so I'm out of the loop on these things.
Yeah,
maybe your game will get me back into it. I don't know.
Yeah, let's hope not. But hey, Joe, you keep it straight over there. I'm with you there. Although I've never been into that kind of stuff. I've always been a teetotaler. But
really,
yeah. If you're trying
Joe gives me shit for that too. I'm a teetotaler also.
Yeah.
No, it was just a matter of waking up in the morning like tired. I got tired of waking up tired. So I'm like, this is at first I was just gonna it was an effort to lose weight, because booze is empty calories and weed gives me the munchies sometimes. So I'm like, I'm just gonna try to lose weight before North Texas so I could go even sexier than I am right now. Right. So I'm just gonna do it for 4 months and get all sexy and and bring that the ladies are there and all that, because there's many hot ladies that go to North Texas, but I figured what the hell will look good and as a weight loss thing. And after like a month or two in, I'm like, I'm enjoying waking up in the morning without a fucking hangover sometimes. And even 1 or 2 drinks at my age, it's like, God, that really hurt. When I was here 30 years ago, I could drink like a fucking bottle of whatever the fucking go next morning and do whatever. It didn't matter. But now it's like, God, it hurts.
That's a big factor for my move, because being on the coast, the allergies every day in Atlanta, most people don't realize how bad it is. In Atlanta, like the pollen count will be over 6,000. Yeah, I mean, like crazy pollen counts.
Yeah.
And just being on the coast makes it so that the number of days where I have a headache, wake up feeling like shit because of this stuff, even with meds, it's crazy.
I'm
more productive. I find I'm more productive. That's the thing.
The pollen is one of the reasons why I scheduled in October.
Yeah,
because East Tennessee is like allergy central. But that, and it's not hot. And at that, I also scheduled the week that's supposed to be peak colors in the Smokies. So,
and Robert Santon reminds us it is Mother's Day.
It is.
If you want to keep your tribe strong and have enough people to raid your enemies and take their stuff, you need to support motherhood and the protection of your young, so that you can raise strong warriors for your people.
Mm-hmm.
Amen. Is that the dark sun way? Shadow sun way? Anyway, on that note, there's no better way to end it with that than I think. So thank you all for watching, guys. I do appreciate it. And please check out DarkCon, check out Greg's Patreon, and stay tuned. There's more to come. I think, Greg, you said you're doing an Erudite show tomorrow or the next day or something, right?
And then Tuesday we're gonna go live with this preview page.
Nice. You're gonna do that live on somebody's show or anything, or what?
No, the best time to do it is like 10 in the morning when people are finished answering their emails for the night before, and then they're getting ready to zone out for work.
Gotcha. That makes sense. All right. Well, thank you very much, guys. We're going to end this now. Almost 2 hours. Appreciate it. And good to meet you finally in person-ish, Chris. So it's kind of cool.
Yeah, hopefully we'll get to actually shake hands someday.
Yeah. That'd be cool, man. That'd be cool.